Hello everyone, I'm Ali Ibrahim Nia, and I'm with you again with a new episode of The Fact, the series that discusses international political issues every week. Today we have a respected guest, Mr. Mannuel Ochsenreiter from Germany. He is a political analyst and commentator, and we would like to talk about some political issues concerning European society and the movement against imperialists in this continent. Thank you so very much, Mr. Ochsenreiter, for accepting our invitation. And I would like to start with the first question. Can you please tell us about the current situation of far-right movement in Europe and the amount of orientation of people toward or against this movement in that continent?
Yeah, Germany has since 2013 also a far-right movement, a serious far-right movement. You can compare them to the Front National, today the Rassemblement National in France, or to the Lega in Italy, to the Freedom Party in Austria, and so on. So the party is called Alternative für Deutschland, which means Alternative for Germany. The name comes from a very stupid sentence from Angela Merkel. She did, I think, around 2010 when she said there is no alternative to her policies. The party changed a lot in its existence. So it started as a pure Eurosceptic and a pure anti-Brussels party, and when we had the all of the sudden influx of masses of migrants in 2014, 2015, the party turned also into an anti-migration party. An important point of anti-migration parties in Europe is always that they have an important part of them is anti-Islamic. So they equalize migration with Islam. What is right in a part, but wrong in the analysis. And that is the problem of all right-wing parties in whole Europe, and that's also it's wrong about the AfD, the Alternative für Deutschland, Germany.
Okay, thank you. Would you please tell us also a bit about your own experience, your personal experience regarding your activities against imperialism in Europe, and if you have seen any kind of or any sort of political pressure by government, and if so, can you please explain a bit about that? Thank you.
First of all, it's important. I myself, I was never part of the party. I was never a member. I supported them as journalist, or I support them as a journalist in those fields where I think they are right. In the fields where I think they are wrong, I criticize them. My personal history is that I always concentrated as a journalist on geopolitical conflicts at the frame, at the fringe of Europe, because I strongly believe that if something happens outside our European borders, it will have automatically a reflux or influx or influence in Europe. And that it is not enough to say I am against mass migration while ignoring the reason for this mass migration. And often we find the reason in our own politics. And I think it is very important to change ourselves, to change the situation in general.
Have you been witnessing any kind of, I can say, political pressure from the government so far, or not?
Well, officially we live in a country which has a constitution which says that there is no censorship. But there is, of course, censorship, and this censorship is taking place maybe in a clandestine and other way than we would expect it from a dictatorship. Of course, we are struggling for our bank account. So the government can make pressure on banks that they quit your bank account, and then your subscribers cannot anymore, of course, pay the subscriptions. Or in many other ways, if we want to do an event, the restaurants or the hotels which were chosen for the event get under enormous pressure. It's economic pressure, for example, that government structures say, if you host these people, we will take care that you will not host any other people again. So this is the way how they do censorship in Germany, and that is a thing we got used to since many, many years.
Okay, thank you so very much, Mr. Ochsenreiter, for your fruitful discussion about the subject, and I will really hope to have you again on this program on next episode. Thank you again and goodbye.